Another day, another dollar. It's O.T.G. Overtime grind. O.T.G. Daily News. So a lot's been going on the last couple days. Specifically, seeing everything that's going on with Vlad TV. And this whole debacle with him choosing not to apologize. I got a lot of feelings on it, and we're just going to start from the beginning. Originally I'm from Champaign, Illinois, from the middle of the United States. I've lived in Philadelphia about 10 years now. So I've been watching Vlad probably most of the time that I came to Philly, and I would say the reasoning behind that is coming from the Midwest. A lot of the people that he would have on his platform are people that I was familiar with that the East Coast and certain places wasn't really familiar with. So it seemed like a good outlet and a good platform to see people that I'm interested in have a space for them to come out and have a conversation. I've always kind of wondered about his line of questioning, and early on when I was following Vlad, he was always kind of questionable in some of the things that he decided to do, but I'm no judge. It's not my place, you know what I mean? And he really never did anything that offended me. But over time, I started to notice that he was very comfortable with the way that he said things, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Vlad would say things in a fashion like he was a black person. And just because you have a past to be in our culture, you got a platform in our culture, you still have to be mindful about how you say things to people in the culture, because at the end of the day, there's just some things you don't know about. I'll never know about being a Russian Jew. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about that. That's not my place. I've done a bunch of research on Russia. I've done a bunch of research on Jews. But what people tend to try to tell black people when they speak about Jews is that somehow we are the same, and that because some black people got killed that we should, feel some kind of allegiance to the Jews and different things. The Jews that we are used to and that we're seeing every day. That's a whole different conversation, but you know how that goes. If a black person doesn't agree with anything that these Jews say or anything that these people say about us, it's an automatic apology. You're labeled anti-Semitic. And what Vlad's kind of showing and proving is what people have been saying about the Jews for a long time, that they kind of get away with murder, with saying anything and everything about anybody else, that they don't apologize when they offend or do anything that's wrong to other people. But in the same breath, if they think that something that you're saying is against the Jewish faith, then you're labeled as anti-Semitic, your name is thrown in the trash, and then they try to bring down everything that you ever created, made, or done to try to penalize you or put you in some kind of place where you understand that they have power. So it's very weird to see this guy disrespect somebody in the community who, black people are going to talk about the minister. That's our right. We have that right. We're black people. You know what I mean? And everything that the minister talks about is for black people specifically. So we have a right to disagree about our things inside our house. We have a right to not like people inside of our house. We have a right to say whatever we want to say about our house. You know what I mean? My brother is my brother, but he ain't your brother. So he's not for you to speak on. He's not for you to disrespect. He's not for you to misquote. And if all people are asking for is just an apology, then you should give that man an apology. You've made all kinds of money off the backs of black people. Just because you have people from the Nation of Islam on your platform, it doesn't really matter. That's just like saying, I got Jewish friends, why are you making anti-Semitic jokes? I just don't really really fuck with Vlad, and I feel like it's about time that people really just go ahead and take that standpoint, because every time this gets deeper, when his friends and people that he called his friends and colleagues are saying, bro, you really disrespected somebody, and people are taking it away. You know, you want to block people. You want to say this is the most money you made every month. You want to say all these things that are consistently and constantly disrespecting people who help build your platform, people that you call friends, people who are out here fighting for you and standing for you. You just throwing those friendships in the trash because you want to have an opinion about somebody who says something that you most of the time say that you're an atheist and don't even really rock by. But in this case, you always got something to say. When you was talking about Yaqub, you had things you wanted to say. When you talk about the minister, you had all these little slick things you wanted to say. You know, you want to disrespect how people feel and what they think about and call that shit stupid and bring Bill Nye the Science Guy in as your backbone to your argument. That's not really cool, bro. You know, and with that, I feel like what's going to happen and what should happen is people should start disliking every video. What I feel like should happen and could happen is people need to be in the comments, spamming the comments, telling people, you know, we demand an apology or cancel Vlad. What I feel like needs to happen or should happen is people should start reaching out to the people who are on the platform and asking them as black people, why are you still supporting a man who feels freely to disrespect somebody, a black man who's been in the community? Doesn't matter if you truly stand with Farrakhan or understand what Farrakhan is saying. Farrakhan has moved millions of black men into positive situations and positive thinking and positive places. And with that in itself, his message is in itself to better the black family, to stop the violence in black neighborhoods, to eat to live, to do for self, stop depending on other people and other things to complete what you need to complete for yourself. Just that message in itself, him being the only person out here who is really preaching that message and not receiving anything for it. So when I say not receiving anything for it, there is no fanfare for people who are 100% for black people. You know, if you want to get some fanfare, you got to go tap dance on TV and talk about Joe Biden. You got to go tap dance on TV and talk about Donald Trump. If you want to get any coverage for your black issues, somehow you got to tie it into something else that they consider more relevant, because it's a war on the black man right now. It's truly a war on the black man right now. And what we don't need right now, while it's a war on the black man, it's a war on the black family. You know, black men are out here being killed by the police. You know, it's a crazy time that we're living in, and black people are trying to unify and work together. What we don't need is a platform as big as Vlad's, you know, taking shits and taking shots on one of the few positive voices in our community. Doesn't matter if you see it as positive or not. It's not your place to speak on it. It's not your place to bring up, to misquote, and to try to get other people to feel like they don't like him too. And that's really the problem that I have with Vlad, and I've noticed he's done a lot here lately, is because he don't fuck with somebody, he wants to come in and try to shade the journalism to make other people not fuck with him. And that's a bitch-made tactic. You know, he did that shit with Joe, acted like he was cool with Joe Budden, and then took shots at Joe Budden. As soon as he seen an issue with Joe Budden, he put Charlemagne on the channel again after 4 years. You know, he don't fuck with the minister, he don't fuck with the nation. So during his conversations, he's always got some slick shit to say and feels like he is obliged something bigger than what he really should have. You had the minister on your platform before. You don't need him again. Like, you got everything that you needed, and you don't really need him again. What are you going to ask him about now? You're going to disrespect him in his old age? Like, partly people are not really even wanting you around because the quality of a person that you show that you are, from then when you was interviewing Brother Wesley Muhammad, Brother Nuri Muhammad, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, to who you are now, you are not the same person. You have lost a lot of integrity. I mean, you have left your friends out here to fight a battle and be in a position where they look like they are cabbing for a white man who don't give a fuck about black people. You know what I mean? Like, you are easily inside of all conversations trying to ignite some bullshit between black people and other people. At this point, you know, you should just apologize or deal with the wrath. And you might not see it right now. You might not feel it right now. But one thing that we are learning is this internet. So we understand that by constantly putting videos up and constantly putting content up that is saying that people should boycott Vlad, people should put dislikes on your videos, people should constantly tell you how disrespectful you are and abandon your platform, that eventually it might start to catch fire. And once that fire catches, you're not going to be able to stop it. So I respect all the brothers who standing out here fighting this fight. I appreciate all the brothers who standing out here fighting this fight. I know it's a lot of people out here don't like the minister, got all these things that they want to say, you know what I mean? It's a lot of black people who come to cape for white people. Whenever a black man tries to hold a white person accountable, they come in and talk about, oh, it's got to be both ways. Oh, well, what about the black community? Oh, well, black people don't vote. Oh, well, but what about black on black crime? Your voice is white noise, and you should shut the fuck up, because nobody is talking to you about that right now. Don't come over here trying to change the direction of the conversation. Don't come over here trying to divert the attention when people are focused on a problem and try to divert the attention to another thing. Like, we handling that. Right now in our neighborhoods, we try and handle that. Partly by trying to handle that is handling the intake of what people see visually on a regular basis. So if people are constantly watching people who are glorifying and saying certain things that aren't the truth, then part of our job of policing our neighborhood is removing those people out of the neighborhood. The problem in the streets, people are dealing with that. The problem with voting, people don't fuck with Biden and they don't fuck with Trump. So if you on one of them bandwagons, just take it how it is. People are unemployed, people got time, crime happens and the vicinity of what people live in. So black on black crime is a myth. You know, there's so many systematic things that have been made, industrial racism that is embedded into the fabric of America. But right now, what we talking about is Vlad disrespecting one of the positive voices in the community and then not wanting to apologize. And as his friends and people who view his platform are asking him and saying, yo, bro, we feel like you owe him an apology. Every day that goes by when he don't apologize, he's just disrespecting more and more of the people who fuck with him in the first place. And if you're okay with dividing those people, that's fine. If you're okay with taking your standpoint and not being apologetic, that's fine. But remember that and keep that same energy when that ball comes around and you feel some kind of way and you feel like somebody violated you and you feel like somebody misquoted you, when you feel like you want somebody to fight for you and be on your team, that you alienated a good group of your fan base because you personally couldn't get out your feelings. That's all I really want to say. Another day, another dollar. It's O.T.G.